Hello everybody. Today we're going to take a look at the new formatting system, the new style panel that's in Manifold Future 163.5, new build that was issued today. And it's a big step forward. We're looking at the product right now. And what we're looking at is a map that has data that has been imported from OpenStreetMap. And we see places, points of interest, buildings, and roads. Let's begin by formatting the buildings. And to do that, we're going to click on the Contents pane, where the Contents pane has a variety of panels here, like components, layers, records, and here's the new Style dialog. To start off, we're going to format the, what we see here is 3 rows of style characteristics, one for areas, color and fill color, one for lines, color and fill color, and one for points, color and fill color. Now these particular layers here, the buildings layer, for example, only has areas in it because it comes in from OpenStreetMap. So the simplest way of formatting in all the buildings is just to click that and immediately they all change color as you'd like. Well, that's kind of cool, but we'd like to do something a bit more interesting than that. We'd like to format these. Oh, and if we want to change the outlines, well, we can just change the outlines like that, and then now they're all red outlines. Great. Let's do something more interesting. Let us change the color of the buildings along with the by using a field. And when we click this, there's no field selected. I'm going to format these based on the the index field, for lack of anything else. Whatever number of breaks we put in here, Manifold will automatically tally even as we're entering these. It computes all the different types of breaks. We're going to use equal intervals. Let's actually change that to equal count. And what it'll do is it'll tally so that there's an approximately equal number of objects in the same interval break. To apply a palette, we click this palette, and we're going to choose a color brewer off screen here. So I'm going to have to you're going to have to trust me on which one I'm choosing. I'm choosing CB Set C. There we go. And to apply that, we just click Update Style, and we've done that. Now, what's cool about Manifold technology here is that if we like, we can choose 2 color wells. We can choose not only this one, but Control-click on this one, do this one first, and Control-click on the one next to it. And now we have now we're simultaneously controlling both the fill color and the border color. And I can reapply that palette. And what Manifold will do for us is that it knows that if we're reapplying the palette to a border color, which is these color wells right here, we typically want that a little bit darker than the ones around here. And to do that, we just click Update Style. And now what we've done is we've updated the style so that each area, for example, the ones that are here using this color, use this color here for the fill color and a slightly darker version of that for the border. Now, if we didn't want that slightly darker version to be used, we could just click this off. So now we're just formatting that color, and reapply the palette one more time. And now that uses the same color in the background, or if we could just change that to black. But let's do it the way we did it before, which is to apply that same color but slightly darker to the borders. Okay, there we've just done that. Now let's do the roads. I'm going to click on the roads, and you can see that the context, that the contents pane automatically reacts to the change of layer. When I click buildings, it shows that. When I click roads, it automatically shows the style for roads. In this case, what we want to do is we want to change. Well, let's first make them a little thicker. Let's make them 2 points wide lines. So now the lines are a little bit darker. And now let's format the color here, and we're going to format this color. That's the foreground color, which is what the lines use, and we're going to format that by the so-called F class. The F class is a text value. It's unique values, and automatically Manifold will go and it'll find all the unique values that are there. And if I restrict the number of unique values that I allow to only 4, it'll take the top 4. If I ask it to do more unique values than exist, it'll only do the ones that it knows that far. So let's apply the palette to it, and for lack of anything better, let's apply the B palette. Is that a cool palette? Yeah, that's kind of a cool palette. Let's use that. There. So there are the roads. Now let's do a little trick here. I'll demonstrate how we can do fun stuff with Manifold very quickly. I'm going to click back into the project pane, And what I want to do is I want to create kind of like a dark black kind of border around these roads so they stand out a little bit better. And the way I'm going to do that, here my roads layer, that's the roads drawing. I'm going to click copy and then I'm going to click paste. I've just made a copy of the drawing. If I open that up, we can see that's what it is. And by the way, you can see that OpenStreetMap uses latitude and longitude here, and all these figures here, all these layers are being reprojected on the fly into the Mercator projection that is used by the map. Okay, anyway, back here to the roads. So let's take this Roads 2 copy that we just made, let's put it in here, and we'll drag that layer to behind that roads layer. Now let's format that, click here on style, let's format this Roads 2 layer because it was a copy of the drawing. It uses the same formatting, but I don't want that. I want it to be black. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a slightly larger layer. There we go. What I've done here is, as if we click off some of the other layers, the Roads layer is just this color layer like that. The Roads 2 layer is the same thing in black but slightly thicker, so that when I turn on the Roads layer above that, the Roads layer appears with that nice black background, and that gives it a nice effect. I like that effect. Alright, so what have we learned how to do so far? We've learned how to use formatting, we've learned how to use these color wells. Let's do points of interest, which are currently these dull gray dots, and we can do way better than dull gray dots. They're all about 5 points in size. If we make them a little bit bigger, so let's make them 12 points in size, we can see now they're larger dull gray dots. So let's change that by varying the symbology of the shape. And you can see we have the former radian shapes, the limited numbers. We also have a new symbol choice here. And what the symbol choice does, it allows us to choose from any font that we have on our system. I'm using Font Awesome, which is a free download. That's a free public domain font. Well, it's not quasi-public domain. You can use it for free. And what I'm going to do here is I will choose, let's choose a symbol that's kind of a, let's choose this one. It looks like a cafe. Great. And instantly it changes that symbol. As we can see here, that's kind of, doesn't stand out all that well. So let's do the same trick we did before. We'll take this, points of interest, copy that, paste it as a copy of the drawing. Take that points of interest 2 and put it here. Going to drag that to the right. And now let's format this point of interest 2 so that, well, so that it uses, say, white color, and so it's a little bit bigger. There, and that puts kind of like a white halo around it. Let's talk about how we can format this. How might we want to format this points of interest layer? Let's turn that off. Let's turn this over here. And let's select a field for it. And the field is going to be the F-class field, which has a whole lot of different possibilities here. If you're patient, you can go through these manually formatting them. For example, for an ATM machine, we can use some kind of a money symbol here. It's pretty much something for everybody in Font Awesome. It's a spectacular font set, and it's professionally designed. It's really well done. And if I had the slightest idea of where the dollars and euros are here. Okay, here we go. Let's use the dollar sign. Update style. And restaurants. Let's just find a restaurant symbol here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here. I'm just going to do a few of these so that you can see what they look like. And notice that by looking at the statistics, I can do the ones that are more common first, and leave the others as they are. Let's delete this from the map, because once I've formatted this points of interest layer the way I want it to be, it's kind of more convenient to copy and paste it, and then if I want something in background to be kind of like a supporting layer, using that trick that we did earlier where we formatted that one in white and made it a little bit bigger. That puts a nice halo around all these different symbols that we're using for our symbology. We can do a similar trick with the places layer. let's zoom into the places layer and oops, let's zoom into the rows layer. There. And places, we're going to start by making it a bright red color so I can find the darn thing. And make it a big symbol that's a star. There. Now let's go into here, and there's that places layer that we found. And let's also put a halo around that places layer. Copy. Paste, and the places 2 layer, we're going to make that black, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger. 24 points, make it 28 points. Great. And now what we've just done is we've used this trick of kind of using 2 layers, making a copy of the drawing. Now when I made a copy of that drawing and pasted it, for example, here we have places and places 2, all the data comes out of this places table. So when we can make as many copies of the drawing as we want to stack them up to create a better symbology or more interesting symbology. And we're absolutely not at all increasing the size of the project because all the data is here in this places table. The drawing is just a viewport that tells us how to visualize that table. Now, using point symbology like this is kind of revolutionary because if we go here to another example that I have, where we have a second map, I've created a bunch of symbols here using a variety of fonts. And these, by using fonts for our symbology, and that's of course not the only thing that Manifold is going to be able to do. It's we're going to be adding a wide variety of custom styles to it as well. We can produce fantastic effects, and in just a course of about half an hour this afternoon, I downloaded, I don't know, maybe a dozen different fonts, and collectively that gives us thousands and thousands of different icons. Symbola, for example, right here is where we have these rounded letters. That's a very large font that's part of OpenOffice, Apache OpenOffice. And this font right here that we see where are a bunch of medieval symbols. Let's play with that a little. And that's called, let's see, the Middle Ages, if I recall correctly. Here we go. So let's change that to, well, I have no idea what this is going to look like, but let's take a look. There we go. And what I've done is I've put a little border background behind it to make it stand out a little better. And using that technique, we can, for example, right here, I'm going to turn all these off, except these right here. This is a composite of 3 layers. Font 2 is in blue, font 1 is like that. So font 3 is the black background, font 1 is this right there, font 2 is that right there. Put them all together and you kind of get a composite symbol like this. And note that every time we click on a different layer, the style is automatically changing. So at any point, if we want, we can change that to a different color value. Or if we like, choose some sort of custom value. Yeah, let's choose this one here. Well, that's ugly. I think I like the standard ones better. As you can see, it's extremely easy to change all these different style settings. Let's do one last thing, and because it's already getting to be a very long video. And let's look at how we can change a whole lot of characteristics at once. Here we have a drawing which has areas, lines, and points in it all together. And if we like, we can change all these different characters together. We can change one at a time, for example. We can change the area color like that. Or if we like, let's do a little tricky thing here, and let's choose MFD ID as the field, and let's choose 2 breaks. And now what we're going to do is we're going to change the color, the fill color on all these at once. So we're going to control click that and control click that. And this is going to be our controlling field. And here in this tally pane, I'm going to control A to select all of them. And now I'm going to change all of them to blue. update style and the fill color for all three of these change at once. Let's do the same thing with the points as well. Let's do the border color, and I'll change manifold MFD ID again, and I'll control click here and control click there. And now what I'll do is control A to select all these, double click, and let's see what color should we make those. Let's make it a contrasting color, bright red. There, so we've now updated that all at once. So this is an example of how you can update the formatting for a variety of objects all at the same time. And nonetheless, if you want, you can just double click into their wells and change them individually. For example, if you want to do something like change the point size or whatever, let's change the size of points like that. And if you like, you can at any point you can just change them one off. So for example, suppose we don't want these all done at once. Let's just change the fill color for points into green, and the surround color for points back to black. There you go. That's been a tour of the new style pane, the style panel that exists in the contents pane, and how you can do formatting. It may seem a little confusing at first, but I assure you that once you kind of get your head around it and get some of that muscle memory going, you'll be able to style and format objects with just remarkable speed, and it's extremely convenient and very fast. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye from Manifold Futureland. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.